Good afternoon. We're going to talk about the investment environment. First of all, we're going to talk about what's investment. And what investment is an asset which is acquired so that the funds has to be placed in it with the goal of generating income or preserving income. Moreover, return is the money made or the lost gained on an investment. There are multiple types of investors, couple of types of investors. One is individual investor, which are people who invest for personal goals such as a house or car or any personal hobby. Second type is the institutional investor, which are institutes like banks that are paid to manage investors' money by trading a lot of securities.
Second of all, there's a lot of types of investments. First of all, securities, such as bonds, stocks, and options. Real property, like land and buildings. Tangible personal property, for instance, silver and gold. And it can be direct or indirect investments. You have debt, equity, and derivative securities. High risk and low risk. Short term, which mature within 1 year, or long term, which matures more than 1 year. And furthermore, domestic, which is in the country, or foreign, which investing outside the country. Next, the investor life cycle. There are three stages of investor's life cycle. First of all, the young stage. The investor starts at a young age, which is also called the accumulation phase. Starts on 20s and 30s when the investor starts to earn income, and its main focus is growth on oriented investments, striving for higher growth, therefore going for risky instruments, since there are more time to achieve goals and focus on capital gains. Examples of the investments could be common stocks, options, or futures. Next, the second stage, which is the middle age. It's around 45 years until 60, until retirement. The investors have family demands, responsibilities such as education expense, retirement savings become important. Investors goes towards less risky instruments to preserve capital and move to higher quality securities with less risk. For example, income stocks, preferred stocks, convertible stocks, and high-grade bonds. The final stage is the retirement stage, which is age of 60 and above. Preservation of capital becomes the main goal for the investor. Transitioning to highly conservative portfolio needs income supplements for his or her retirement income and fight the effects of inflation. Examples: low-risk income stocks, mutual funds, treasury bonds, quality corporate bonds, and bank certificates of deposit.
So now that we know everything there is to know about the investor himself, now we're going to talk about the steps in investing. First of all, step 1, which is meeting investment prerequisites, meaning we have to obtain cash. Before investing, we have to obtain cash for basic necessities, for food or health insurance to prevent yourself from dying due to sickness. Second of all is establishing investment goals, such as enhancing your current income to have further expansion in the investment world, and like keep maintaining your retirement money as well. For step 3, adopting an investment plan. For every goal, there should be a target date and specific risk, so we don't get lost in track. Step 4, evaluating investment vehicles. After you assess the assets you already have, you study you study every asset that should be assessed and calculate the risk and return. Okay, so for step 5, selecting suitable investment, which comes after the assessment we already did in step 4, plus further research. Okay, for step 6, constructing a diversified portfolio. No matter how suitable the investment you chose in step 5 is, you still have to keep a diversified portfolio and manage it to minimize risk and increase return. We manage the portfolio in step 7 through comparing the actual results, the actual performance of the asset you have, of the portfolio, and the expected.
I'm going to talk about the conditions of economy. There are 3 types. First one is recovery or expansion. The second is decline or recession, and third is change in the general direction of the economy. Now I'll be explaining with liquidity. Liquidity is the ability to change an asset into cash without major loss in value, and it's used as an emergency cash, as it's not purpose. Market timing. Market timing is knowing what time to sell or buy an asset depending on how the economy is going. Now I'll be talking about the interest rates and its effect on returns. Interest rates and returns are very important, since you need to know the interest rate to know how much returns you will get. And interest rates and bond prices are opposite. So if one increases, the other. Now we'll be talking about the short-term vehicles. Short-term means it matures in less than 1 year. An example of it is U.S. Treasury bills, and it has advantages, which is highly liquid. It can be converted to cash without major loss in its value, and it's also low risk. And but the disadvantages is it has low levels of return and loss of potential opportunity.